Kristin Cassidy is a local visual artist whose unique approach to creating art has become a force with which to be reckoned. Her one-of-a-kind artwork can be found along the riverfront for everyone to see. Cassidy searches along the banks of the Mississippi River where she finds discarded objects in the mud and water. She uses the found objects to create an art and shares it with the world. When Kristin is not on the salvage hunt to create new art, you can find her at her studio on Cherokee Street in St. Louis. Kristin, you were born in Alaska.
Yes.
Tell me how being born in Alaska has affected the type of artist that you have become.
Working or having come from Alaska has changed the way that I interact with the environment. It's put a lot of focus on respecting the environment and exploring it and adding to it rather than taking away, pointing out the beauty that exists there already.
You told me you met someone from Alaska in St. Louis and you two figured out you have something in common. What was that?
Well, there's a philosophy, or in elementary school they teach you how to interact with the environment, how to react if you see wild animals, how to survive the elements. And one thing that they always said was, if you see a flower, don't pick it so that other people can see it. And I met another person from Alaska here in St. Louis, and she had heard the same thing, and we bonded over that philosophy.
Which is kind of interesting because you repurpose things that you find in nature.
Yes.
And it's almost like it's come full circle what you were taught in Alaska.
Yes. There's always sort of a romantic idea with things that are old.
That's you on the riverfront, isn't it?
Yeah, that's part of the exploration. Definitely something I learned as a kid.
Philosophy?
Yeah.
That you're saying that what you brought from Alaska and how it's affected how you do art and how you repurpose things.
Oh, right. The idea of things that are old, it's always been very romantic because there's not a lot of human artifacts in Alaska. So I was really drawn to the history and the story behind things when I moved to St. Louis.
So when you say you're a visual artist, explain what that means.
Well, as opposed to other forms of art, there's performance art, or performance as in theater. There's installation, which is somewhat visual, but more of an experience.
And this is visual?
Yes. They are works that are visual in the way you experience them.
So talk about this piece right here.
That is made from copper and brass objects that I've collected, and I let them decay onto the surface for a period of time. I believe that one was 8 months. And so I allow the natural erosion or the natural processes to show the imprint of what was there before.
Wow. And what's this one?
Those are all spoons that I've collected along the St. Louis Riverfront. And I am working on photographing all of the things that I've found and presenting them so you can see the variety of those objects. Although similar, they've had a different journey.
All this is from the riverfront. Is that where you go? Is that where you scavenge, for lack of a better word, to find your pieces? Why the riverfront?
I think it's because of the history that was there. It all kind of stems back to my childhood in Alaska, and I used to go to the beach and collect beach glass, and there was something really magical about the fact that these pieces of essentially trash had been manipulated by nature into a new form, and collecting those and sorting them by color and seeing the different ways and shapes that they were. It only seemed natural to go to the body of water that was here to start looking for what had been left behind.
Wow, you do some other forms of art, and we're going to talk about those. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about them. Stay with us on STL Live. We'll have more with Kristin Cassidy and find out more about her creative artwork.